Good morning, everyone. Great to see you. Happy Sunday. How are you? This is God's day. This is our day. I'm gonna make this quick today. I'm gonna make this quick because we've talked about a lot the last 11 days. It's time for the Niners to actually play a game. But I have a real clear vision for how this game is gonna play out. Kind of like how my dad is with boxing matches where he can tell you who's gonna win and in what round. Did you watch that match with Terrence Crawford last night, by the way? That was interesting. Guy got knocked out. He just walked into a jab and got knocked out. Anyway, here's why the 49ers are going to lose to the Saints. And here's why this game ultimately doesn't matter for the 49ers this season. All right? Those two things. One, I'm going to do it this way. I'm not going to go straight to why the Niners are going to lose this game. I'm going to list all the reasons why they're not going to lose it. No, that doesn't make sense. It's early. Hold on. Let me try again. I'm going to list all the things that are not going to be the reason why they lose this game. And then I'll get to the reason why they're going to lose. So I don't think they're going to lose this game because of their defense. The defense isn't great. It's missing Bosa and Ford. Even with Bosa and Ford last year, they couldn't do much against Drew Brees or this offense. Still, 11 days to prepare. I think they're going to do better than the Bucs did last week. I think Robert Saleh is going to have a better game plan than Todd Bowles had last week. And I think the Niners defense is going to give up 27, 28 points, which is respectable on the road against the Saints. All right? So I don't think it's going to be the defense. They don't have a pass rush. How well are you really going to do against this offense without a pass rush? I think Armstead will play well. Kevin Givens will play well. DJ Jones will play well. Kerry Hyder. To the best of their ability. They're the 7th ranked defense. They're not a top 10. Not a top 10 defense. They're going to play hard. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be prepared. They're going to be outmanned. When they go to man-to-man coverage, they're going to have some matchup problems. So 27, 28 points, that's respectable. They're not going to be the reason they lose. And then Robert Saleh won't be the reason they lose. He's going to do a better job than Todd Bowles did. I don't think this defense is going to be giving up 35, 36, 37 points like they have the last couple of weeks. And then on offense, I don't think Nick Mullins is going to be the reason they lose this game. Now, he might be. We've seen Nick Mullins make some bad situations worse, where he's getting hit or he misses. He's getting hit and throws the pick instead of taking the sack or checking down or throwing the ball away. Or he'll miss one throw and that'll affect his next 5 because he's pressing and trying to make up for his mistake. We've seen him do that. I don't think that's going to be – we could see that in this game, in which case he certainly would be part of the reason they lose. I'm not expecting to see that. I'm expecting to see good Nick today. I'm expecting to see good Kyle, meaning I think he's watched my quality control sessions. I'm sure he's watching right now. And I do expect to see all those Jimmy Gimmies, the term that I invented this week, all those shovel passes and screens and easy layup throws that have propped up Jimmy Garoppolo's stats since last year. I think we're going to see a lot of those. And then we can finally say for certain that Kyle Shanahan watches my live streams and videos. So look for that. I think we're going to see the best of Kyle, the best of Nick. We're going to see a lot of those quick throws that are like extended handoffs. I think Jordan Reed's going to have a terrific game, going to be a big part of the offense. I don't think the tight ends are going to be the reason the Niners lose. I think Jordan Reed people forgotten about him. He's going to have 8 targets today and maybe a touchdown or 2. Ross Dwelly's going to play. He's going to play well. The wide receivers aren't going to be the reason the Niners lose, even though they don't have Deebo Samuel. Kendrick Bourne will be there. He's going to make a couple of key catches on 3rd down. Brandon Ayuk's going to go crazy. Richie James Jr. is still going to get used. He's going to play well. The running backs are not going to be the reason the Niners lose this game. Jerick McKinnon's a good player. He's playing really well. He could score a touchdown in this game. I like JaMychal Hasty. He hasn't had big yards the last couple of weeks, but if you watch the tape, he's a very quick, explosive, aggressive runner. He just hasn't really had many opportunities, many holes the last couple of weeks. I like the Niners running backs. Even their backup, Austin Walter, is pretty good. Not to mention Kyle freaking Juszczyk, the forgotten man on this team, who is certainly one of their best 5 skill position players, no matter who is healthy. He's still there. So I don't think any of those guys – look, it's not going to be Trent Williams' fault. It's not going to be Laken Tomlinson's fault that they lose this game. It's going to be 3 guys' fault. Daniel Brunskill, Colton McKivitz, Mike McGlinchey. These three guys are going to sink the 49ers in this game. Now, if the Niners had Raheem Mostert and George Kittle and Deebo Samuel, maybe even just Mostert and Deebo, they could overcome the center, right guard, right tackle triumvirate of awfulness that the 49ers have, but they don't have those. They don't have that running back and gadget player. They got big Mike McGlinchey, skinny Mike, Colton McKivitz, and Daniel Brunskill, who I like, but has been playing like 8 different positions. They can't let him settle at one. He's constantly shifting around. Is he a good center? No. Is Colton McKivitz a good right guard? No. And then you got Mike McGlinchey. So here's what's going to happen. The Niners are going to have no run game against the Saints, not because of Jerick McKinnon and JaMychal Hasty, because of Daniel Brunskill, Colton McKivitz in particular. Mike McGlinchey is a pretty good run blocker. I'm not going to knock him there. But the two guys in the interior, Brunskill and McKivitz, they're going to ruin every run game, every run play. You're going to see Jerick McKinnon get the ball and slam on the brakes in the backfield and have to find a cutback lane immediately. Those guys are going to get walked back into the running backs, Nick Mullins, all day. So then the Saints are going to win that line of scrimmage battle. They're going to win the trenches because Brunskill and McKivitz are Brunskill and McKivitz. The Niners do not value the interior offensive line. They knew they had an issue there. They didn't add anyone except for Colton McKivitz and Tom Compton, which is interesting because the Niners and Saints are built similarly. They have quarterbacks who are pocket quarterbacks, not guys who scramble around and make plays on their own. And so they got that. What the Saints do is they spend first-round picks on their offensive line. They got a first-round pick at center, at guard, at left guard. I think they have a second or third-round pick at right guard, a first-round pick at right tackle, a first-round pick at left tackle, or a really, really good left tackle. They don't mess around. The Niners mess around. They're like, oh, we kind of like this undrafted free agent guy from the AAF. Let's give him a shot. Oh, what about this guy from the Big 12 that we can get in round 5? We like him. Okay. All right, well, let's see how they do against the Saints interior defensive linemen who are going to dominate this game. And then, so that's just the run game. The Niners are going to be one-dimensional because of their center and guard. And then when it's time for Nick Mullins to make big plays on third down, he's going to have to make a bunch of them, big-time throws. He's going to get sacked by Mike McGlinchey every time. He's going to drop back and see a guy open and go for the throw, and Mike McGlinchey is just going to knock him out. He's not going to mean to, but Mike McGlinchey is going to do his signature move where he gets forklifted off the ground and his feet go above his head and he takes out the quarterback himself, or he whiffs and turns and lunges at the defensive lineman's feet like he's going to grab him and hold him. That's what you're going to see. Mike McGlinchey against Cameron Jordan getting mollywopped, walked back into Nick Mullins. You're going to see Nick Mullins get hit a lot in this game. And because there's only so many Jimmy Gimmes you can call. Eventually, you're going to get to 3rd and 6, and you need Mike McGlinchey to block someone. And he just forgot. I don't know. He's working on a different technique this year, guys. From what I've heard, according to sources, he's trying something new. It's called not blocking. It's next level, guys, because usually for decades and decades, offensive linemen have all done the same thing: block, right? But Mike is a thinking man's football player. And he's thinking, if everyone's doing the same thing, why don't I if everyone's zigging, why don't I zag? So this year he does things where he's like, not blocking. Oh, just didn't block you right there. And so people watch the tape and they're like, Mike, what are you doing? But in like 10 years, you'll look back and be like, see this here, this was the prototype. This was the first offensive lineman who experimented with not blocking. And then, the rest is history. Now no one blocks. The game is basketball, and we played in a gym. It was all Mike McGlinchey. He really saw how stupid it is to engage and hit, and it's just so prosaic, Why would you touch people in football? Why would you even want to get in their way? It's just not nice. It's not polite. Mike McGlinchey is he's a polite guy. He would never just get in someone's way. The guy's clearly going somewhere. Why would you? Come on, man. It's just rude. It's just rude. What else? What does a Niner win mean for the rest of the season? Oh, if the Niners win this game, they're going to the playoffs. And here's the thing. So let's move on. If the Niners win this game, they're going to the playoffs. If they don't lose this game, they're still going to the playoffs. Let me explain what they got to do the rest of the way. This game doesn't really matter. And that's why you don't see Deebo Samuel, Richard Sherman, Raheem Mostert. If the Niners win it, that'd be great. They basically have to win their 3 remaining divisional games. Of course, they have the 2 games against Dallas and Washington. I think everyone expects the Niners to win that game. I think the Niners expect to win those 2 games. I think Dallas and Washington expect to lose those 2 games. Let's just chalk those up as wins right now. So the Niners are 4-5. Those 2 are wins. That's 6. Okay? That's 6 wins. Then they got 3 more games against the NFC West. The Rams, the Cardinals, the Seahawks. That's it. That's the season. If the Niners win those 3 games, they go to the playoffs. Probably. If they lose any of those 3 games, they don't deserve to make it. They have to win their divisional games. Can they beat the Rams coming off a bye week without Jimmy Garoppolo and George Kittle? Hell yes. Absolutely. All right. So if they lose to the Saints, they go on a bye week, they come back, they beat the Rams, they lose to the Bills the next week, they beat the Washington football team, they beat Dallas, then they get to week 16 at 7-7. Considering all they've gone through, the COVID stuff, the injuries, the really difficult schedule, 7-7, week 16, I mean, what more could you ask for? And it's possible they could get to week 16 at 8-6. What if they win this game? What if they beat Buffalo? Buffalo isn't perfect. Buffalo's beatable. What if the Niners have Raheem Mostert and Deebo Samuel? They could just run all over Buffalo. So it's possible they could get to week 16 at 8-6 and just have to win one of those 2 games. Or they could win both of them and get to 10-6. You see what I'm saying? Let's say they're at 7-7 with the final 2 weeks. Will they beat Arizona at Arizona? I don't know. Maybe not. But they'll have a chance. Can they beat Seattle at home? Why not? Nick Mullins played really well against Seattle in the 4th quarter this year, facing a lot of pressure and blitzes. Go back and watch the coach's tape. It wasn't prevent defenses when he came in. They were coming after him. They were coming after the center, Hronis Grasu, who couldn't pick up an A-gap blitz to save his life in that game. He threw for like 230 yards in a quarter against that defense. And the thing is, every quarterback does that against the Seahawks. Every quarterback dices them up. They have the worst pass defense in the league. The only person who couldn't dice it up was Jimmy. So can the Niners compete with Seattle? Mullins beat them already. Mullins beat them in 2018 at Levi's. So yeah. The question I have is the Arizona game, week 16 in Arizona. That's tough. The Niners just really don't match up well with Arizona. They have no one who can cover DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, the problem, they'll have you can put Mosley on Hopkins or you can put Verrett on Hopkins and they'll be right there in his hip pocket, but Hopkins still makes the catch every time. What do? You just don't have a cornerback who's big and physical enough to match up. Same thing with DK Metcalf. It's not like Mosley slipped once with DK Metcalf. The other times he was right there, he just got punked. Mosley's gotten punked a lot this year because he's just kind of scrawny. He's an undrafted guy. He's not underperforming. He's way exceeded expectations. Are the Niners' chances of winning against the Cardinals diminished if they have Sherman back to face Fitzgerald and D-Hop? I think Richard Sherman is a big reason why the Niners lost against the Cardinals. Because I've talked about this a lot, and Richard, I know you blocked me on Twitter, but you watched, and that's why you blocked me, because you listened to my criticism, and it hurts because I'm right. So the problem, Richard, I would vote for you for the Hall of Fame. You're a first ballot Hall of Famer, and when you were 27, you could really cover man-to-man and zone. Like, you would be a great matchup against DeAndre Hopkins 5 years ago. But now you're 32, and you've had a torn Achilles, and you just can't run. Like, I bet you, Richard, you run a 4.7 40-yard dash at best right now, because you're coming off this calf thing too. Like, I bet you today, if you had to run a 40, you run a 4.8. So, okay, that's fine. Like, you don't have to be super fast to be great in zone coverage, and you're great in zone coverage, but you can't play man-to-man coverage. Anytime the offense sees man-to-man coverage with you on the field, they're just going to like audible and get whoever you're guarding to run a deep over route. So you have to really run, and you can't. So if you're covering Andy Isabella or any scrub who can run, you're toast, and the defense knows it. So Robert Saleh, he's not going to want to expose you. You make a lot more money than he does. What's he going to do? He's going to take the heat, not you. You're the Hall of Famer. So he's going to call all the coverages that make you playable, which is zone, cover 3, cover 4, all that stuff. And so people won't throw into your zone because they could complete 4 passes, but the 5th might get picked because you understand the route combination and you break on the ball before the wide receiver does. That's what you do really well. So they'll leave you alone. But problem is they still have the rest of the field. Like you shut down 1/3 of the field theoretically. Well, the other 2/3 of the field are wide open. And the defense gets shredded because the quarterback doesn't have to read anything. He doesn't have to wonder, like, is it man? Is it zone? No, it's zone every time. I know what I'm going to get. I know where to go with the ball. I don't have to throw there. Everything else is open. This is easy. Easy, especially when you go against a quarterback who's pretty good. If you go against Kyle Allen and Mason Rudolph, they're not going to take advantage. But if you go against Kyler Murray, yeah, it's like, okay, well, I just won't throw right today, whatever. And it's not even that. Like Richard Sherman plays the field. He doesn't stay on one side. This year, they play boundary and field side quarterback, which means if the ball is on one hash, Emmanuel Moseley will be on the side that's closer to the sideline. Ball on a hash, sideline over here. He's on this side. Way more field over here. Sherman's over here. All you have to do is not make the super long throw across the field. Who wants to make that throw anyway? That's a low percentage throw anyway. You're putting him like way outside the action. He's like in another zip code out there. He's just not part of the game. And meanwhile, you only can play zone and you get torched. That's what happened week 1. I think they're just way better with Jason Verrett on the field. Why would you take Jason Verrett or Emmanuel Moseley out? I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't trust him. Sherman makes the defense better. All right, we'll see. Did he make the defense better week 1? How did he make the defense better week 1? You keep thinking about the past. I'm thinking about this season. I saw him against the Cardinals. He didn't make the defense better in that game. He made it worse. The defense improved when he went out and Jason Verrett came in because they have no pass rush anymore. They had a pass rush last year. They have no pass rush anymore, so they're winning by disguising their coverages and confusing quarterbacks. They can't do that with Richard Sherman. There's no disguise. The only disguise is, are we running 3 deep, 4 underneath zone coverage or 4 deep, 3 underneath zone coverage? That's the disguise. How'd that work in the Super Bowl? It's not good enough. What you actually see this year is Hall of Fame level quarterbacks dropping back and reaching the top of their drop and hesitating. Coaches call it hitching, meaning not like drop, get to the top of your drop, throw. No, it's like get here, hesitate. You do the Jimmy Garoppolo dance where you just pat the ball endlessly. That's what you see from a lot of quarterbacks against the Niners. Why? Because they are confused. They see Fred Warner over a wide receiver pre-snap and think, oh, it's got to be zone. The Niners don't trust him man-to-man on a wide receiver. Oh, but they do. It's man. Quarterback is confused. They can do all this stuff with Jason Verrett and Fred Warner and Jimmy Ward, disguising coverages that they cannot do when Richard Sherman's on the field. Richard, just be a leader. Be a coach. Be the DB coach. I don't think they need you on the field anymore. I just don't. Any other questions? Or should I go have another cup of coffee and wake up? This was a little early, but I feel like if you don't get to this by like 9 o'clock, you guys are going to tune out and start watching, JB, Howie, Johnny, Larry, Timmy, and Frank on Fox. God, they have so much fun. The forced laughter that they have. I love those pregame shows. Oh, Howie, that's a funny one. I liked that joke, Howie. Good one. Ha ha. The stiffest shows of all time. Imagine if I was on one of those shows. That would be funny. You think they'd let me do my Eric Armstead impression on Fox? Or my Jimmy impression? I don't think so. What's up? Why do I make so many excuses for Mullins? That's a fair question. hold on. Why do I make so many excuses for Mullins? Because everyone makes so many excuses for Jimmy Garoppolo. Everyone acted last year like he was good when he was handing off to Raheem Mostert and then like flipping the ball to Deebo Samuel and then like making a couple of throws on third down. Like I'd like to see Nick Mullins get an opportunity to do that too. He's played half a game in his career with Raheem Mostert. The Raider game where Nick Mullins like had the best debut of all time. Mostert didn't make it through. He broke his arm. And then I think he's played one game with Deebo Samuel. That was the Eagles game where Deebo was still coming off an injury and was barely in the game plan. Never played with both of them. Any quarterback who gets to play with Deebo Samuel and Raheem Mostert at the same time has a very easy job. It's like, it's all kind of different handoffs. Like this time I'm going to hand off with my right hand. This time I'm going to hand off with my left hand. This time I'm going to turn around and toss it 2 yards back at an angle. Ooh, this time I'm going to shovel it forward. Like we've seen Jimmy do that and win games and people be like, hey, let's give him some credit. Okay. He really had to, those shovel passes aren't as easy as they look. Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay. He gets credit. Like, can we just see Nick Mullins have to do that? Because every time Nick Mullins comes in, it's like, hey, man, we're going to need you to throw it to, we're going to need you to go downfield like all the time. Because it's like, all right. And he's pretty good at throwing down the field, surprisingly good at throwing down the field. But he's had trouble with the shorter passes, the shorter intermediate stuff. I'm talking like give him some stuff behind the line of scrimmage that you just can't miss, the layups. The shorter stuff is really like rhythm passes that take experience and timing with your receivers. And you've seen he's been off. Him and the timing of his receivers have been off on the shorter stuff. The downfield stuff, he's been good. I'd like to see him get some easy stuff with let's just see how he does with Deebo and Raheem Mostert. Because I really think that Nick Mullins could have taken the team. He could have done what Jimmy did last year. Jimmy didn't take this team anywhere. The defense, Deebo and Raheem Mostert took the team to the Super Bowl. Jimmy was as much of a passenger as anyone else. I think Nick Mullins could have been a passenger on that train. And after the bye week, we're going to see. This game today is not what they're going to be after the bye week. It's not what they were last year. We're learning that the MVPs of the offense are number 19 and number 31. Kittle and Juszczyk are great too, but they were on the team in 2017 and 2018 when they lost a lot. Kittle's great, but this is a run-first team. He's not a running back. He can do some stuff after the catch. He's good, but you can't just line him up at running back like you can Deebo Samuel. You can't give him 3 end-arounds a game like you can with Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel makes the run game better. He's an extension of it. He's basically a running back on this team. And to have your 2 best running backs on the field together at all times, and the defense has to figure out which way is it going. If Deebo Samuel runs an end around, is he going to get the ball or not? That's powerful stuff. That makes the Niners who they are. And when those 2 are on the field, it doesn't matter who their quarterback is, really. I think C.J. Beathard, he's never played with those 2. Has he ever played with those 2? I don't think he has. He'd probably win with those 2. So I just like to see, I'd like to see these backups get a chance to have the cushy game plan, the cushy Jimmy gimmies, the cushy weapons that make his life so easy. Let's see Nick with that. Let's see CJ with that. Actually, let's just see Nick first. Let's give Nick his opportunity. CJ finds a way. CJ just finds a way to mess it up, man. I don't know what it is. He seems like a smart guy. He's been in the system. He seems like the most athletic of the Niners' unathletic quarterbacks. But when he drops back in the pocket, it's like his mind goes blank, or he's thinking about something else, or he just has the worst feel for athletics and sport that I've ever seen from a professional quarterback. I mean, he like walks into hits. His timing is just all off. It's almost like he wants to feel the pain and get up again. I don't know, man. You can't. Enough of CJ. Why are we talking about CJ Beathard? No, that's the answer to my question about my excuses for Nick Mullins. He always has to play with River Craycraft, And if Jimmy Garoppolo ever had to play with River Craycraft, people would be like, hey, guys, let's just keep in mind that he was playing real quick. River Craycraft. I was making fun of his name the other day. I'm sorry. It's not fun. It's not nice to make fun of someone's first name. I mean, he didn't name himself, but I would like to say that his parents seem amazing. Amazing because they're both named Tracy and they named his brother Skylar. So it's Skylar and River. It's like Earth, Wind, and Fire. all the different elements represented. So I was thinking if they had a third son, they would be like Walker or Driver, something, by land. Walker, Texas Craycraft. I like a family that has a theme for names, They seem like they're a creative, fun bunch, So if you're watching Mr. and Mrs. Craycraft, I wasn't making fun. I admire and salute what you've done. It seems like your kids aren't traumatized by being named River. And honestly, River's a pretty good name. I think River's cool. The lead singer of Weezer's named River, I think. There are cool rivers out there. And I mean, I like rivers. Who doesn't like rivers? My name I thought was tough being named Grant at 2 years old. I felt like it was tough. You either have to be a lawyer right away named Grant or get a nickname. So then I got Iggy as a nickname, which was also tough. Neither name, I can't even pronounce my names. When I go to the restaurant, like a restaurant or like a bagel shop, and they say, okay, what's your name? I say Grant. They're like, Brent? Like, no, Grant. They're like, okay, Bram, thanks a lot. I'm like, no, it's Grant, Grant. They're like, you don't have to spell it. I'm like, well, clearly I have to spell it. So whenever people ask my name, it's Grant, Grant, and they give me this look like, you're a moron. I'm like, I know. It's because I can't pronounce my name. So River, at least you can pronounce your name. You don't have to say, hi, my name is River, River. That's my name. That's my life. Grant, Grant. Okay, Brent. No, I spelled it. I actually spelled it. So I never give my real name. My name is, whatever I'm feeling that day. Maybe it's going to be River. Next time I go to get some brunch, I'm going to say my name is River. And they give me a look. I'll be like, excuse me. What kind of service is this? Excuse me. You can't say Abe Froman. That's played out right. They'll be like, oh, Sausage King of Chicago, huh? No, I can't do that. All right. I think it's time for me to go order some brunch as River. Niners winning by a lot or little. I'm picking the Niners to lose by 1. 28-27. I think they're going to really compete hard. I think the defense is going to play as well as they can. I think McKinnon's going to have a good game. Ayuk's going to have a good game. I think Jordan Reed's going to have a really good game. I think Nick Mullins is going to go toe-to-toe with Drew Brees, and I think this offensive line is going to let this team down. It's possible if the offensive line really stinks it up that this offense won't get to 20 points, that they'll lose 27-7. I have a pretty good feeling the defense is giving up 27-28. The offense, they're going to be somewhere between 14 and 27, depending on how committed Mike McGlinchey is to his new technique of not blocking people. We'll see. If he goes the full game of like rodeo tactics, if he just goes with the little Olay all day, then the Niners are going to score like 13 points. But if he actually like mixes in some blocks just to like keep them off balance, then the Niners will maybe score 27. So, Mike, I'm looking at you. Are you still here? Are you still here? I'm wondering. I can't even sing good today. I'm tired. All right. I'm going to go have breakfast. Go enjoy the early games. Watch some football. And I'll be back after the game to explain talk about this loss that's coming. All right, guys, enjoy.